Welcome to our next episode of Clear Skies. This is AI Blind Spots, your usual hosts, me and Jim. I'm the one with the long hair, Jim's the one without any.
For now.
While we wait for just a few more people to join, we are going to go over a few fun facts. First one is the biggest risk for many organizations with AI is that they don't know that it's there. Employees often adopt tools long before leadership becomes aware. I know that my generation is the biggest culprit for this. Millennials do love to download an AI app.
What? That doesn't sound like employees.
Shadow AI adoption is driven by the desire to save time and to increase productivity. There aren't a lot of people who are trying to use AI for malice, but it can be a problem if you're not telling your boss about it, I'm sure.
Unintended
and of course,
consequences.
The kind where they eat all your data and then delete things. That's happened. You can't manage what you can't see, right?
Let me fire the poll. So what's usually the biggest challenge with shadow AI? You covered on employees are not intentionally breaking the rules.
As an employee, I just want to do my best.
I have to give some credit as this poll's coming in. Some people have said AI tools are inherently insecure. And I actually think that's an astute observation that a lot of people have come to the conclusion you really have to work to make the AI platforms you're working in be secure. It's not that they can't be, it's that out of the gate, there's little incentive for these AI providers to really go the extra mile to secure you, right? So that's a huge danger. So I like where our audience is headed here. They seem to know what's up. And we do see one person coming in saying the employees don't want to use AI. I mean, I've heard that. People are like, nope, they're not going to do it. John is just not touching it. Sorry to call it any Johns out there, but yeah, it's pretty interesting to see. So cool. What do we got next, Caroline?
This is, does your organization have an AI policy?
Ooh, okay. Let's fire that one up and see what people respond to on that one. There's a yes, no, we're working on one, and I have no idea. So I'm going to guess most of us don't, right? Or aren't sure.
I mean, it's so new, and there's so many loopholes that could be found if you set rules now.
I only know 2 of our customers, and they're regulated, so they have every incentive to do it, that actually even have any kind of formal AI policy or are working on one. So I don't think this is an uncommon issue at all. In our world, we've actually brought legal in because we have the aspect of thinking of it not just for ourselves, but how it affects our relationship with our customers. So that's kind of been a wild ride. So sharing those results, you're not alone. Most of you don't have one or aren't sure. I think a common problem, and it's really why we're doing what we're doing today, right?
Yeah, you got to learn where the holes are so you can patch them.
Good to see everyone's in the same boat. All right, well, I'll talk about how we got here. We had been looking into different vendors and tools. Not that we wanted to solve this with just tools alone, right? There's policy and more to consider. We met Saurabh and Daniel at a conference, and they had a unique approach. So I asked them, hey, could you come and knowledge share about what got you here and what not? Because what we found is they really understood how employees were using AI tools, shown by what they created to make that visible. And they had a real practical approach that was different than a lot of other tools out there. And we felt like people should know that these solutions are coming out. And I asked them really to focus on the educational aspect of it first and a little demo after. So, Rob, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. First of all, Rob, Jim, Caroline, thanks for having us here. This is clearly a topic we are very passionate about. I am CEO and co-founder of Kipling Secure. It's an AI native platform built for MSPs and SMBs, and our journey has been all about creating a security stack for AI. Ultimately, you can create all the policies on paper you want, but there is a need for enforcement, and that's where we come in. Prior to Kipling, I've had a long career focusing on various roles across cloud infrastructure, cybersecurity, and enterprise technology, and very excited to be here.
Awesome. And Daniel, you're the relationship guy over there.
Yep. So my name's Dan De La Garza. I've been with Kipling for quite a few months now, since around Thanksgiving time. Prior to that, I was at Palo Alto Networks. I've come from a web application background as well, sold MDR, been around cybersecurity for a long time. So I've been a cloud security architect, happy to help folks achieve their secure AI goals.
Well, very cool. We're happy you guys were able to join. Hopefully you got some good stuff lined up for our audience. Saurabh, are we having you kind of take off for the
Yes,
next
yes,
spot?
yes, yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, so you're going to just talk a little bit about the AI blind spot in SMBs, what that involves, and how we believe it should be approached. But we won't just leave it there. We'll have Dan take us through a demo to show how that actually works in the real world. And folks, please shoot your questions, comments. Want to make it as interactive as possible. So without further ado, let's start with the uncomfortable truth. AI adoption is not coming. It is already inside your environments. IT may have approved it, ignored it, blocked it, or written a policy about it. But employees move faster. They're not trying to create risk. They're trying to get work done, writing emails, summarizing contract proposals, spreadsheets, whatever. So really, the problem is not AI usage. AI is a means to an end and a very powerful one at that for SMBs. The problem is unmanaged AI usage. And here's a practical example, a real world pilot we ran. This is a financial based out of the New York area. And here we saw more than 120 AI related fingerprints. There were about 83 Gen AI tools, 39 agents or agent type application. And this was no grand AI strategy. This was just another Tuesday. And when we say AI is everywhere, it's not just ChatGPT in a browser or Claude. That's the visible layer. There's explicit AI that includes these tools and complexity and all the frontier models. But there's embedded AI inside Slack, Notion, Grammarly, Canva, you name it. There are developer tools, GitHub, Copilot, Cursor, whatnot. There are assistant sales tools, on and on. So this is the first shift, really, where AI has moved faster than customer policy and faster than most IT teams. For SMBs, nobody can answer the basic question: who is using these tools? What data is going in? Which tools are sanctioned? What accounts are personal? Which apps have access to documents, email, calendar, and so on? Not to do fear mongering, but just to talk about what is also coming on the horizon. The next phase is not just employees typing into chatbots. It is agents taking actions. And if you use Claude Cover, it's already there. This changes the risk model. This is a recent example. And again, Pocket OS, this is SMB, a company that's focused on boutique car rentals based out of Utah, where they had Cursor AI agent that deleted their entire production database during routine maintenance in 9 seconds, from routine work to total data loss. I mean, I've had awkward 9 seconds on sales calls, but this is worse.
Can I ask what total data
Caroline,
loss
go ahead.
means?
Yes. So, car rental, logistic company. So every bit of data they had about their customers, the scheduling of cars, the maintenance, whatnot, it was erased by this over smart AI agent, which found some anomaly and decided to proceed and do it. And this is after, Caroline, you love this. There was an explicit never system prompt.
I remember reading about this in the news.
Yeah.
Because one of the founders was also vibe coding on his own. And there was supposed to be a guardrail in the system. The original link inside the system didn't even have an API connection to a secondary backup system. But because he was running autonomously, it researched how to get into the backup system and deleted the backup while it was also making the code changes. Yeah. Yeah. So you talk about, this goes back to that whole governance thing. That's some Wild West stuff right there, man.
But then again, the lesson is not that AI agents are bad. I mean, these are powerful tools that change the way we do things and productivity for our businesses. The lesson is really that AI agents need operational controls. If a tool can read, write, summarize, send, deploy, whatever, modify, it is no longer just a chatbot. It is part of how your business operates. And blind trust is a suspense genre. So just moving along, there are more examples, but point being, AI attacks are no longer just theoretical. We are seeing prompt injection, zero-click leaks, agent hijacking take place in the real world. Many of those don't look like traditional cyber attacks. There are no malware, no stolen credentials. Sometimes attack is just a language, a malicious instruction hidden inside a document. So now you have this double whammy of agents and AI doing things inadvertently and the bad actors using this powerful technology also to do bad things. And this does not include employees pasting sensitive data into AI tools because the tool is useful. And
sense.
you might ask, I have all these security tools. I have my EDRs, I have my NDRs, and Rob asked me to put in a firewall.
Doesn't touch this stuff.
Exactly. Because at traditional security, all of these stacks that are built, that looks at patterns, that looks at signatures. It's looking at something specific to catch within the network traffic or within the domains and so on. Those still matter, but AI risk lives in the prompt, in the intent, in the data exchange, in the agent context behavior. And this is why anybody saying just block AI does not work. It's a bit like saying we solved the cloud risk, we blocked the internet. I mean, good luck with that. And this risk happens to browsers, desktop apps. If you block one surface, you start with a browser and you have a browser tool, another one appears. So you're playing a game of whack-a-mole. A practical answer is visibility first, policy second, and enforcement third. Know what is happening before deciding what to allow this strict on guardrail. And just digging a little bit deeper, that's really the 4 AI risk categories any business needs to control. First and foremost is shadow AI, which means what tools are being used, what's sanctioned, what is being used to personal channels, what is embedded, what's the browser-based. Most organizations cannot answer that today or just have that answer on paper. The second is data exposure. What data has been pasted, uploaded, summarized, or shared. Traditional DLP was built around files, classifications. AI usage is messier.
Yeah. How do you even detect all that? I mean, especially if you're in a regulated environment where you're FINRA or SEC or SOC 2 Type 2, you've got PII. How do you even answer that, right?
And Rob, as you know, once that sensitive data enters the tool, you do not get to send a polite email asking the model to forget what it saw. It just lives there forever. It's been trained on it. There's no pulling it back.
And I think where people also miss a risk there is, what if you sign some kind of third-party agreement with somebody else? It's their data. They came to you, giving you that data.
Yes.
And I've even heard of companies getting so aggressive now where they're talking about digital watermarking becoming a thing to identify where their leaks are and be able to find the source. I mean, this potentially carries damages if you don't get ahead of it. It's scary.
Yeah.
It is
And
scary.
we spoke about BI attacks. That's another different case. But yeah, this data access thing is inadvertently, you are giving the keys to the kingdom to the world at large. And then there is aspect of unsafe or non-compliant content, hallucinations. We had this one case of a customer and somebody in the sales organization was using this voice to email tool to answer customer service requests. And he could do that from the beach and from his phone while driving, all that good stuff. Except that tool was hallucinating. Every so often, it would insert gibberish in these emails. Now think of the reputation risk and how amateurish your organization comes across once that happens. And customer-facing answers that should never left the building now are out there. So AI governance is not just a legal policy exercise. Policy tells people what should happen. Controls show what is actually happening, and enforcement lets you do something about it. And that's why we built Kipling, and we'll show you some of this in action in the next section. The biggest risk in SMBs is not that employees are using AI, that they are. Whether you have surfaced that or not, that ship has sailed. It's docked somewhere and it's already started using Copilot to write its travel blog. The real risk is that leadership and IT often don't know where AI is being used, how it is being used. So in this demo, we will show you exactly how that happens. And I'll hand over to Daniel to do just that.
All right. So right now what I have up is the Kipling portal, right? The administration portal that we use. It's been mentioned a few times here that we have to discover, right? We can't protect, we can't block, we can't do anything with what we can't see. So the purpose of what we're showing right now is we want to discover what's being used in terms of AI within the environment. So what happens is in the background, you install this, you're going to let it run, and it's going to identify everything in terms of AI, what's being used by your employees, right? And what's going to happen here is we're going to give every AI tool that we find an overall risk score, right? So let's say in this example here, I have DeepSeek. DeepSeek, for whatever reason, it's been known for some nefarious activities. We're going to enrich the data as much as possible. So we're going to tell you what domains are we seeing it come from, that risk score associated with it. But what I want to point out here is this unsanctioned category, right? So once we discover, we can now start going down the funnel of, do we allow it or do we not allow it? So in this scenario here, we have not allowed DeepSeek, but we're going to give you some information as far as who's using it and where it's coming from, and then how often is it being used. But what I want to point out here is on the right-hand side, we're going to give you as much enriched data as possible to show you as an organization, should I be using this or not be using this for my employees or for my clients? Now, something unique to the platform as well is we have this app catalog. It's pretty eye-opening here. So about a week ago, when I was doing demos, this number 675 was sitting at maybe 600-ish, right? So let's say between last Monday and today, Tuesday, it's already grown this much. So no one can keep up with this, right? This is how many tools, this is how many agents, this is how many different AI applications are becoming available on a daily basis. But what happens here with the app catalog is we give you the ability to quickly sanction or block these particular applications. So as a company, you're using ChatGPT, right? So I can come in here, again, the same enriched data, but like I said, we can move this immediately into a blocked pattern or a allowed pattern. Gone are the days where folks can use their Gmail or whatever free account they have, log into ChatGPT to do whatever they're going to do, right? We can now enforce them to use this level accounts.
Yeah, I
Right.
was going to ask that, Daniel. So you guys can get to the granular level and tell if someone's using the free one versus the paid for one that's in the company's
Exactly.
paid account?
Exactly. The way we're doing that, Rob, is we're gathering the identity piece of the user. We're seeing that network level traffic. We're doing that deep inspection, and we're able to make these decisions to enforce these kind of policies. So something very unique to the platform. It's a big point nowadays, right? You don't want folks using their free Gmail accounts or whatever to use company information on these LLMs.
Sure.
Now we can enforce that. Let's say, for example, also, within the app catalog, you're a law firm, right? We've talked to a lot of law firms. Harvey's a big one. I can come in here right out of the gate and I can allow Harvey within the organization. So immediately sanctioning it, let it be used. Maybe you're on the other side of the house, let's not use it, right? But either way, giving you that choice, that flexibility to use these different platforms, these different models here. Now,
I have a question.
go ahead.
These scores you're giving, are they out of 100? Are they out of 50?
Out of
Because the
100.
highest number I've seen is 47. So I just wanted to know.
Yeah, it's really out of 100. And what we're doing to get that number is we're using AI to combat AI, and we're making that overall assessment. That's a good question.
The fire to fight fire and to grade the fire.
Exactly. I think what separates Kipling from a lot of folks is a lot of cybersecurity companies have been established and they're wrapping around AI, right? Whereas we were built on the foundation of AI. So that gives us the kind of advantage there. But yes, these policies are what's going to allow or deny what's being uploaded or what's being used. For example, here we have PII data, we have legal data, we have different categories. This is what's preventing folks from uploading or using sensitive prompts within these LLMs. It was mentioned earlier, I think it was you, Rob, who mentioned watermarks. Very big as well. We have the ability to detect watermarks that are being uploaded to these platforms. So simply feed us the watermark. Maybe the watermark's marked confidential. Maybe it's marked for internal use only.
That's a huge liability risk reduction.
Yeah. I was
So
just thinking that.
Are you looking at like the content, like a graphical content, or are you looking for some digital watermark?
So right now, if you have a watermark as an image in the background, we can't do that yet. It's coming, so hang tight. But right now, what we can do is the wording of the watermark, right? The internal use watermark or the confidential, whatever it is you choose to use. Just give us that wording, and we can use that to help prevent further use of this document. Good question. For those organizations that need custom policies, maybe they have something different that doesn't fall into one of these buckets, give us a name, a little brief description, give us some keywords to look for, because what we're looking for is the intent of the prompt and the information that you're going to upload. What I have here is a custom coding for JSON and JavaScript. So I'm looking for these triggers within the prompt to not allow them to be used within the organization.
The idea behind that like maybe I could put people into groups and some people are allowed to have that and some people are not, like
You can,
fine.
yeah. Groups is a thing. Yep. So you can use groups as well, because some people might need to use it, some people not, right? So you kind of want to give them that flexibility.
Right. I can
Maybe.
see like you
Yeah.
might have 2 or 3 people that you want to have that, but you're like, wait a minute, why is all of a sudden this new guy we hired starting to ask for vibe coding apps? Like, what's going on?
Well,
Yeah.
you want to give the CEO access to everything, right? He can do whatever he wants to be. So.
Depends on the CEO.
Sorry.
No, I was talking more about Rob. Don't get him.
No, I know. I'm just messing. So again, charts and graphs throughout. This data is going to be represented however you like. I've been selling cyber for years. Whenever you have conversations with higher ups, they want to see data, right? They want to see what's happening or what's being used. But what I want to show here is kind of the back end portion of it. So here I have Amber, the user. She's prompting ChatGPT. She's asking for trip help, right? She wants to plan a trip. Perfectly fine. You can do that. Nothing wrong with that, right? But when we start seeing something different happen is she's prompting again ChatGPT. She needs help organizing data, right? She's asking for some credit card data to be sorted. Fine, you can ask for the help. But what happens is that when she tries to upload a document, in this case, a spreadsheet, we caught that document and it triggered on a couple different of those buckets, right? It triggered on PII information and it triggered on finance, right? So now we're showing that who did it, what she was using, what happened, and of course, she tried to upload a document, right? Earlier, I showed that we had DeepSeek in the unsanctioned category. So what that looks like here on the back end is here we have Amber again going to DeepSeek, and of course, it got blocked, right? And she hit the deny policy. So you can follow the trail here. But what I'm going to point out real quick is, of course, this K was mentioned earlier that we were built on AI, right? So now you can use our AI to prompt the system for more information. So maybe you want to have a report that shows, hey, who's been trying to upload documents, or hey, who's asking for legal help? You can prompt us and we'll give you that information. Maybe you want to fit into a slide to present, giving you that ability.
I have a question there. Does the user see something? Does it just not work? Because sometimes you see some of these security tools that they go there, but it's like, it didn't work. And then IT's got a ticket, but it's a lot nicer if you get some kind of proactive messaging.
Definitely. So what's going to happen here, we're going to try to upload some PII data, and you're going to see our system kicks in and says the user, no, it wasn't allowed because of PII data. So we'll let this play out. Here we have someone asking for help, which is fine. But then what happens is it got triggered for PII. Sorry, that was quick, but you can see here that they're prompted with a message. This is the bucket that was triggered. It was PII. This is where you can't use it. So yes, give you that user the feedback, right? Just not a blank screen of, hey, what happened? It's giving them the feedback to kind of help, shouldn't be doing this. Lastly, what will happen is when we run on the endpoints here, we produce a report giving the environment an overall executive summary. What are we finding in terms of tool usage, overall risk score associated with the environment? What are the contributing apps to that environment? My favorite piece here is you have organizations always tell you, well, I'm not using any AI. Well, I beg to differ, Mr. Customer. You are using AI, and this is what we found, right?
Mhm.
You want to get granular, users. You never want to call it users, but whatever you can if you want. So you have users, what models are they using? And then really, what are the use cases?
I don't really see calling it by user as being that big of a deal, because at the end of the day, right, you probably have some indication of some people who are showing up as power users, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we all know that there's power in the tools, but then again, I think it's the unexpected users that would be the most revealing.
That's probably it,
of
man.
a report like that. Like, what did I think I know that I was really wrong on,
That's exactly right. It's that insight, right? Having that insight, having that discovery piece that we keep talking about. But really also, go ahead.
So this is a lovely report, and I do really, really want to look through this. But is there a way to pull a report through your site for specific users? So like if one user continuously tried to put credit cards into ChatGPT, is there a way to pull a report for just that user so you can have that?
Yep. So what I showed you right now is this AI Insights report, right? That's the overall report that we've been looking at. But what you would do is you would prompt us to produce that data that you could have.
Your AI agent.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Got it.
Yep. But yeah, that's the overall platform. I know it's quick and dirty, but I hope that made sense for everyone.
Oh, it's really beautiful.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, I haven't seen anything else that has this level of granularity in the sense of even just starting it off as a discovery tool. And I think that's really the payoff here, if you will, is getting the data, because you can't fix what you don't know about, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
So
Rob, I mean, I appreciate the partnership with you guys that has allowed us to improve and hone the tool. But what I want to point out, because we built it from ground up, AI is still an evolving space. So when we talk about AI agents and MCP servers, all of those are being developed and covered under the same umbrella. So it's not like you have now AI agents running and now you need yet another tool to cover all of that estate.
yeah, that never happens in the SMB or IT space, right? The tool you bought
Are we
before
taking
doesn't
names?
evolve to the problem. I know you can't talk roadmap, but are you finding that you have particular industries or other things that are leading to deciding what's improved? Like, are you starting to even maybe look at for specific kinds of regulations?
Yes. Yes. I mean, one thing the tool does also is to look at specific compliance frameworks and look at deviations from those. And that's an important aspect for specific industries. And in terms of the early traction, a lot of the, what you mentioned, Rob, regulated industries, healthcare, whether it is finance, whether it is legal, we are seeing a lot of traction coming from there. And that obviously boils down into their own regulation and compliance frameworks.
Usually at this point in time, Caroline, what do you think, Jim? You think we open it up, and if anyone has any questions, they can
I
chat
think
with
there are
us.
plenty of questions.
They can unmute themselves and come on. I mean, however we want to do it, but feel free to chat them. Jim, did anything come up for you?
Yeah, I actually had one when Daniel was showing that warning that came up for in the little video of whoever was trying to upload something, and it said you've been declined. Is there a review process? What if there was a legitimate reason that they think they should be able to do this? Is that they have to get with the boss? Is that I had to get to hit a button and it puts in a request with you guys? How does that work from the end user standpoint?
Yeah, so maybe I can take that on. That's Jim, part of one of those coming soon features where we have what we call just-in-time approvals. So using your regular Teams or Slack channel, you can message your administrator, whosoever that might be, for a limited time exception because you are trying to do something that is relevant and necessary. So that's how we are going to operationalize it.
Excellent.
I have one. Can some people be greenlit for some things and then other people are blocked, or is it just organizational wide?
No, it can be done at a user level, Caroline. We can give you more permissions and Jim less, or it can be done. Yeah, there you go. It can be, or it can be per department and role. So finance may have certain set of permission and certain set of tools, whereas people in marketing may have less or more. So absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I have a quick question. Who's watching the console, and are you only watching things on the AI agents, or are you watching like everything?
So that's Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Hey,
He asks, are you asking, Jeff, is it somebody inside the organization that's watching the console, or you go in and it's a dashboard? Is that kind of the question?
Right. Who's watching that dashboard? Is that Cloud9 or is that me?
Oh, okay. So is that the reseller VAR partner? Is it the end customer? Is it both? Kind of.
Yeah. Rob, you want me to take that on? Or
Yeah, that's all you, baby.
Yeah. Okay, you got it. So we have, first and foremost, we have made this console and this framework in a way that it doesn't require continuous babysitting. It's not a SOC. It's not something where you basically create those policies, you create those frameworks, and then it implements on an ongoing basis. But in general, the way we have created the service, this is meant for SMBs to be served through an MSP. So you would have Cloud9 that's providing the service, is providing that report and readout and reaching out to you when something egregious happens or needs to be controlled.
I would say, Saurabh, we have some customers who do have a little bit more technical prowess and a little more security awareness. And we have some co-managed customers. From what I've seen, you can make a customer an admin. They can run it
Absolutely.
and then escalate to the MSP. We don't have to be the one that runs it. I look at it like the same way I look at general security. I'll give an example. Phishing emails. We have some customers where that flags to them first. And then if they want to escalate it to us, or if they haven't answered the challenge in, I don't know, 15 minutes on some of them, then it automatically escalates to us. But the whole point is we have certain flags that a user can say, hey, I really need this looked at. And the customer can get first crack at it. I look at that as
Absolutely.
a shared responsibility
Absolutely.
matrix, right? You can probably define
Yes,
that on a
indeed.
per relationship level.
Yes, and I should have been clearer. That's where we let you, Rob, as the MSP lead, there to draw that line, rather than us as the service provider putting that line in sand.
Sure. Jeff, does that answer kind of what you're thinking, or do you want to see, did you want to see a dashboard or anything?
Are they only watching the AI chats?
It's way bigger than the chats.
Yes,
Like-
it's way bigger than the
like-
chats.
Because one of the reasons that we liked Kipling's solution was a lot of these AI governance systems that are out there right now, they require a browser plugin that is only doing it on the browser where something's installed, right? But, and Saurabh and Daniel, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys are actually at the network layer. And so what's happening is all of the traffic that's going back and forth to the computer is being policed for this kind of behavior. So Claude Code, Codex, somebody even using like a third-party tool like Cursor or Windsurf for vibe coding, all of that can be detected. It doesn't just stop at chatbot, right?
Correct. 100%, Rob. I couldn't have put it better. And Jeffrey, in the same vein, things such as uploads, whether that's again happening to the browser or the standalone tool, or that's embedded within our tools, and that's where we started to talk about agent. All of that is covered. Prompt injection, where somebody is artificially poisoning the LLM to do things it's not supposed to do. That's part of the, again, what we detect and protect against as well.
And you're kind of natively
Yeah.
trying to turn that on out of the gate, the prompt injection detection.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
kind of almost like,
Yes.
even if you didn't configure everything, it's almost like your DNS or your firewall filtering. Even if you're not blocking a specific kind of site, we're looking for malicious payload and we're trying to detect it and block it.
Exactly.
I learned something every day. So that was new to me. I didn't even know that.
Okay. Thank you.
Great question.
Thank you.
And I think, Saurabh, this touches on something you and I were talking about earlier, and that was, where's the line, right? Because Kipling's trying to stay in the lane of AI governance. But at the end of the day, you're really touching on DLP in general here, right? You could technically detect any Excel file or any PII that's being loaded to a third party. It doesn't have to be AI only. And so the trick is, you and I had this philosophical conversation, like, is that something that we should do in Kipling, or is that something that really should rely on some other kind of reporting?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is where the tool capabilities, and it's a platform that we have built rather than a one-trick pony. But Rob, we have to, at the same time, stay focused on what is the most topical burning problem, right? And you probably want to Microsoft to make some money as well. We don't want to starve them completely. So that's our focus there.
That's fair. I'm excited to push this out to our regulated customers, because I think this is a huge answer for some pain they've been grappling with. It's the Wild West out there right now from a compliance and governance standpoint. And I haven't seen a more elegant solution than this personally. What's up, Caroline?
I have a question. If you could give 3 never break these rules with AI rules, what would they be? Or even just one, like solid, do not break this rule with AI rule.
I'll put it as, the one important thing is start with visibility first. I think that is key. Before you start to even put in place any rules, discover what you're doing and be mindful of what tools, what data your business needs versus what is outside of bound. That starting point is absolutely crucial. After that, the platform is built in a way to take over and automate the whole exercise for you.
Got it. Okay. And what about you, Daniel? Do you have any one rule for AI for us?
Yeah, trust but verify. We're all human. We got to rely on our own brains, right? We can't always be using AI. So
Discernment is important. All right. That would appear to be our show for today. And if anybody has any further questions, they can shoot us an email to communications@clearskies, and we'd be happy to answer it or have Kipling answer it for them.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.